Well, I have a natural fear of bees. As a child, I've been traumatized several times because of the bees that my father kept. So thinking that he could show a little child what the beehive looks like at nighttime can really traumatize a child when they sting you in the eye, the ear, the nose. Well, urban beekeeping is keeping bees in the urban area, and it's having bees around to pollinate the gardens and trees in our neighborhoods. It's important because we cut down a lot of the natural environments for local bees and for honeybees. So the forests where they would live in the hollow trees are now gone and are replaced with homes and condominiums. My father and grandfather always had bees as long as I could remember. So I remember summers of harvesting honey and being a little child walking by the hives and getting stung. So my experiences in getting stung as a child kept me away from beekeeping until I finished university, and then thought I could do it if I have the right suit and I could buy a suit. I could do beekeeping.
It's not something that most wives would do for their husbands, but he's amazing.
So I started Toronto Bee Rescue after wanting to start beekeeping a few years ago, about 4 years ago. My dad was a beekeeper and my grandfather was a beekeeper, and over the last few years, the last decade, my dad struggled with beekeeping at our farm. And since I graduated university, I wanted to start beekeeping and help him out. So I started Toronto Bee Rescue. We wanted to get a free swarm from around the area, and we quickly started removing hives from people's homes. I've now almost focused primarily on removals of hives because we were one of the only few people that specialize in that in Toronto. The weirdest or most interesting swarm we ever captured was on a shopping cart to a Shoppers Drug Mart store. So the waitress from Montana's called us up saying there was a swarm of bees on a shopping cart in the middle of the parking lot and people were scared to drive by it. So we hopped in our car, drove from our farm all the way back to Toronto and collected it as fast as we could before someone tried to kill it or disperse it. Yeah, there's hundreds of hives in the city of Toronto and dozens of beekeepers. You'd be surprised to find out where they're at, but there's bees at Casa Loma, there's bees at the zoo, there's bees on top of buildings at the University of Toronto and on top of the Opera Center in Toronto. So you can find bees almost everywhere in the city. You just have to know where to look and who to talk to. So right here is a cell where there's a hole in it where the queen would eat the hole and then sting the other queen and kill her so that she would be the only queen in the hive.
Well, Peter and I, we both attended university together at the University of Waterloo, and we actually met in our program. At the time we were both in environmental studies, and that's how we met. It definitely is a bonding time. The removals themselves certainly take me out of my comfort zone. Wasn't a fan of heights to begin with. Now I'm somewhat comfortable on a ladder with the right safety gear. And I think it's a great way for us to bond further, and communication always is being improved when you're working with bees.
Bees actually work as one big organization, so they make decisions together. There's no one bee that rules the whole hive. Each bee can't live on its own, and they need each other to survive as a colony.
Oh, actually, I never had that instance where I was like, nope, not doing this anymore. I'm loving it and want to get even more into it and get more exposure.